Welcome to the deep dive.
Mhm.
So today you've brought us this really charming story called The Great Family Flower-Off.
Yes, it's quite delightful.
It really is. It's all about the Bloom family and their yearly competition. And there are some pretty quirky rules too, like no watering other people's flowers with glitter juice.
Right, which tells you something about the family dynamic right away.
Exactly. And we meet Grandma Bloom, who's whispering to her marigolds, and Dad with these huge, bold sunflowers.
Mm,
And there's Cousin Jake with his mystery seed and little Lila and her forget-me-nots. What struck me wasn't just the fun characters, but how it sort of nudges you to think differently about, well, what winning actually is.
mm.
Our mission today, then, is to really unpack this contest and see what surprising lessons kind of bloom from this friendly rivalry. So what was your first impression?
Well, what's really fascinating is how this seemingly simple family thing, the rule was just most beautiful bloom wins, clear as day, right?
Yeah.
But it reveals something much, much deeper. Everyone was really putting in the effort, watering, singing to the plants. I think someone was reading bedtime stories.
Yeah, I think so.
And Jake's mystery seed, well, it grows a single blue shoe, which is hilarious. But the winner wasn't decided by who had the tallest flower or the brightest glow.
Right.
So the story immediately challenges you, doesn't it, to look past the obvious ways we measure success.
Exactly. So let's dig into that a bit. You've got these really different styles. Grandma Bloom is all nurturing, almost magical with her marigolds.
Very intuitive, yeah.
And Dad's going for just, wow, sheer presence with those sunflowers. Big and bold.
Maximum impact.
And then Jake
Mm-hmm.
with the blue shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just wonderfully absurd. What do you think the story's getting at with these varied, sometimes totally unexpected results?
Well, I think it really highlights that, not every effort leads to the result you expect, sort of traditional win. Sometimes the real bloom isn't the flower you planned on. It might be the sheer effort or the unique twist or even just the humor in something totally unexpected, like a shoe. Dad and Grandma are focused on growth in a very, standard way.
Right, conventional.
But Jake's blue shoe, it reminds us that competition isn't just about predictable results. It's also about showing up, the journey itself, and maybe the surprises you find. It adds this layer of fun, showing that even in a contest, there's room for joy and just being uniquely yourself.
It definitely does. Okay, but then there's Leela. Her forget-me-nots, they're tiny, bright, but not the biggest or showiest.
Not at all.
Yes, she wins. And she does it by charmingly giving them out to every judge with these little handmade thank you cards. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. How did what she did completely change the game, shift the goalposts, when the rule was explicitly most beautiful bloom?
Yeah, that's the core of it, isn't it? What's so remarkable is how the story just turns that explicit rule on its head. Leela wins, but not because her flowers were objectively more beautiful in that, flower show sense.
Okay.
It was her approach. That's what changed the definition of beauty for the judges right there in the moment. Her cards, the act of giving, that wasn't just some extra thing she did. It became part of her bloom.
Oh, I see.
She didn't just grow flowers. She grew, connection, gratitude. It really shows that value isn't always in the visual thing, the final product, but maybe in the intention behind it, the positive feeling created.
So it's not just if you win, but how you win. And maybe what you create beyond the win itself. Like a win built on connection feels, I don't know, more valuable than just being number one on your own.
Exactly.
It makes me think about how we define success in our own lives,
Yeah.
We tend to focus on the measurable stuff like Dad's sunflowers, how tall they are, or Jake trying for something big, the numbers.
Precisely. And this lovely little story, it seems so simple, but it's actually a powerful way to look at our own goals. Think about work projects, or even personal ambitions. Are we only focused on the visible metrics, the tallest flower, the biggest budget, the sales figures?
Right.
Or are we also nurturing the forget-me-nots? Things like, good teamwork, empathy, positive vibes in the group. These soft things, they often don't get measured, do they? But they're about the impact on people, the joy created, the community built.
Yeah.
They're often overlooked, but maybe they're critical for real lasting success.
That's a really powerful point.
Yeah.
So our deep dive into the Great Family Flower-Off, it just beautifully shows that while growing things, plants, projects, whatever, takes patience and care and dedication,
Mm-hmm.
Leela winning because she was growing kindness, not just flowers. That really flips the script on success. It's a great reminder that, fun can come from friendly competition, and maybe the best things we grow aren't just the results we can see, but things like love, teamwork, and thoughtfulness.
Absolutely. And connecting this to the bigger picture, it really brings up a question for you, the listener, to think about. In your own life, your own projects, maybe at work or at home, what kindness or thoughtfulness are you trying to cultivate alongside your main goals? This story kind of encourages us to think more critically about how our effort and our intentions can genuinely redefine what it means to win. So maybe the question is, what stands out to YU as the most valuable thing to grow?